Everyone who enters a casino is sure of one thing: today is my day. I will win. I will hit the jackpot. I will become that very lucky one. And each of them ignores the main law of the gambling industry. You do not win in a casino because everything there is calculated in advance. The player comes with hope. The casino comes with mathematics. And mathematics always wins. But there were people who decided to break the rules. Not to rely on luck, but to break the system itself. With their mind. With precision. With cold logic. Or with direct deception. Their stories are a mix of genius and crime. And today you will learn the top 10 most legendary people who beat casinos, leaving behind chaos, scandals, and multi-million-dollar losses. Let's begin. Number 1. Ron Harris, the man who hacked the slot machines themselves. In January 1995, an unknown guy named Reed McNeil won exactly $100,000 in Atlantic City. But it wasn't the money that surprised the casino staff. It was the fact that he showed no emotion at all. He didn't have an ID card. He demanded to take the winnings in cash. The inspection exposed the main point. In his hotel room was Ron Harris, an engineer who worked for the Nevada Gaming Control Commission. He was supposed to test new slot machine chips, but instead he rewrote their software so he could know the winning combination in advance. His friend waited for the exact moment and pressed the button. The system collapsed. The jackpot triggered. When the inspectors went up to the room, Harris had already disappeared, leaving behind diagrams, books, formulas, and detailed instructions on how to hack the random number generator. He was caught later, and the casino did not have to pay a single cent, having proven fraud. Number 2. Gonzalo Garcia-Pelayo, the man who made millions on Roulette. A Spaniard, a record producer, who suddenly became a casino legend. He was the first in the world to prove that roulette is not perfect. Every wheel has a microscopic tilt, defect, or imbalance that affects which numbers come up. Garcia-Pelayo spent years walking through casinos in Spain, recording thousands of spins. He created a program that calculated statistics and discovered 15% of numbers repeat more often than the rest. He played only according to these formulas and made $1.5 million before casinos tried to ban him from entering. He went to court and won. He was officially allowed to continue playing because he used only mathematics without any cheating. Number 3. Dominic LoRiggio, the man who could literally throw any numbers on dice. He is called the Dominator. And this is not a nickname. It is a level of mastery. Dominic was not a hacker, did not use devices, did not forge cards, and did not place bugs. He did what casinos considered impossible. He learned to control the dice throw. Back in his student years, he noticed that if you change the angle of the hand, the force of the push, the rotation, and the trajectory, the dice do not fall randomly. And he spent years perfecting the technique. He created the method of controlled throw, a technique that allows releasing the dice so they more often produce the needed combination. So accurately that Las Vegas casinos, one after another, banned him from entering, even though he did not break a single law. From the casino's point of view, it was witchcraft. From the point of view of mathematics, a subtle manipulation of physics. He traveled across the USA, won tens of thousands, and ended up on ban lists throughout the country. Today, he is a legend of the industry, author of books, a trainer, and a rare example of a person who beat the casino honestly. He is the only hero in this top who won without breaking the law. But for casinos, he was worse than cheaters, because they could not stop him. Number 4. Keith Taft, the father of hidden casino computers, the man who turned blackjack into a technological war. Keith Taft was an absolute engineering genius, a man who devoted 30 years to creating devices for cheating casinos. What he built in the 70s to 80s sounds like science fiction today. In 1970, Keith and his son created the first portable blackjack computer attached to a belt. It allowed the player to count cards and gave hints on how to act through blinking signals in specially designed glasses. Control? With toes through hidden switches built into the shoes. Yes, he created shoes that transmitted codes to the computer. The first improved model, David, brought in $40,000 in a week. The Tafts set up mass production and sold the devices for $10,000 each. Later, he created a method to read the dealer's cards. A mini camera built into a belt buckle. the eye in the belly. It transmitted video to an assistant who told the player how to act. But in 1985, casinos added a rule: any computer is illegal, and Taft's activity became a criminal offense. Keith came under investigation, but they could not prove how the device worked. It was too perfect. In 2004, he was inducted into the Blackjack Hall of Fame. He died in 2006, leaving behind the legacy of a man who turned casinos into a battlefield of technology. Number 5. Ida Summers, the woman whom even mafia casinos in Las Vegas could not catch. Ida Summers is one of the most dangerous and most elegant cheaters of the 20th century. Her weapon was not technology and not strength, but beauty, psychology, and absolute cold-bloodedness. From a young age, she knew that beauty is a key to all doors. But in casinos, she turned it into a tool that brought thousands of dollars per night. She did not know how to play poker or roulette. Her element was blackjack, where she used the finest cheating techniques. She hid a pre-prepared card in her palm. She switched the deck. She distracted the dealer with words, a smile, or her body. She charmed men at the table, gaining their trust in 30 seconds. Administrators, managers, dealers, players, everyone adored her. Everyone thought she was just a lucky beauty. In reality, she was a predator in a dress, acting with surgical precision. In the mid-60s, she gathered a team of assistants. She entered the game, replaced the cards, stepped out under the pretext of being tired, and her partners played out a prepared scenario and took the payout. And all of this happened in an era when Nevada casinos were controlled by criminal groups. If Summers had been caught, she would have disappeared forever. But she was too smart, too confident, and too charming. Later, she was eventually detained by the FBI and the Nevada Gaming Commission, but she received only a suspended sentence. Even the government could not resist her charm. Number 6. Tommy Carmichael, the man who cracked slot machines faster than they could be updated. If Ida won through psychology, Tommy Carmichael won through engineering and cold calculation. He began by forging Gucci belts, but quickly realized in casinos money comes faster. In the 1980s, he invented the slider device, which allowed him to pull coins from old slot machines. In 5 years, he stole so much that casinos lost millions. He was caught, imprisoned, released, and then created a team of professional machine hackers. When slot machines with random number generators appeared, Tommy developed a new weapon, the light wand, a device that knocked out payout sensors. The machine thought no coins had been inserted and released jackpots. He stole every day thousands of dollars. He acted coldly, quietly, systematically. But the success did not last long. He was caught again. This is where Carmichael's story ended. His name became a legend among criminals and a nightmare for casinos. Number 7. Louis the Coin, Colavecchio, the man who printed money in the form of chips. Luis Colavecchio is an old-school con artist. For almost 30 years, he forged Gucci belts, but at the age of 50, he realized the real money isn't in boutiques, it's in casinos. And he invented a scheme that makes even professionals' hair stand on end. At first, he forged chips, neatly, perfectly, with jeweler-level precision. He went to Atlantic City casinos twice a week and steadily won hundreds of thousands of dollars. But the real level of madness began later. Colavecchio decided to forge slot machine tokens, the very ones produced at the U.S. Mint with multi-level security. Each casino used its own token system, and Luis made more than 50 different types of counterfeits, investing $1 million of his own money. He worked quietly and professionally. One visit, maximum $200,000, exit without a trace. This went on for 4 years. He deceived dozens of casinos until 1998 when he was finally caught in Atlantic City. But before his arrest, he managed to pull off the largest chip forging scheme in U.S. history. He is called the king of counterfeit chips, and so far no one has surpassed his scale. Number 8. Richard Marcus, the man who invented the most deceptive bet in casino history. If Colavecchio printed money, then Richard Marcus made bets that casinos couldn't detect for almost 20 years. He started as a dealer and learned every weak spot of roulette and blackjack. But his true fame came from his signature technique called Savannah Move, the chameleon bet. The idea is simple. The player places a stack of chips on top, 3 cheap chips. Underneath, hidden by the hand, expensive $500 chips. The dealer sees only the cheap ones. If the bet loses, Marcus quietly removes the bottom high-value chips and pretends he bet pennies. If it wins, he discovers the big chips and celebrates like a champion. Casinos thought he was just a lucky player, but over the years he stole more than $5 million. Richard amazed everyone because he used no gadgets, no partners, no hacking, and only psychology, dexterity, and perfect facial control. They couldn't catch him for a long time. And even now, after he quit, casinos around the world fear his appearance because his technique still works if executed carefully. Marcus proved one thing: sometimes the most dangerous scheme isn't technology, but the human brain. Number 9. MIT Blackjack Team, the geniuses who turned casinos into a laboratory. The MIT Blackjack team became the most intellectual threat to casinos. It was a group of MIT students and graduates, mathematicians, analysts, programmers, who decided if blackjack can be calculated, it can be beaten. They worked like a special unit. Spotters counted cards. Big players entered only when the advantage was maximal. Everyone had a legend, clothing style, even fake identities. In one weekend, the team could earn hundreds of thousands of dollars, and over the years, millions. After the release of the movie 21, they became legends. But because of them, casinos began changing rules, strengthening surveillance, and introducing betting pattern analysis. The MIT team proved the main point: if you know the math, you can break the system. But next is a man who did it alone. Number 10. Edward Thorp, the professor who destroyed casinos with formulas. Edward Thorp is a mathematician, physicist, and creator of the first full card-counting system. In his book, Beat the Dealer, he described a method that became a nightmare for casinos. Statistics plus strategy equals winning. The system was so powerful that casinos added new decks, changed rules, increased control, banned all devices. But Thorp didn't stop. He left gambling, applied his formulas on Wall Street, and became a billionaire. The man who beat casinos beat the financial market as well. Each of them proved casinos are not about luck. They are about weaknesses, mathematics, psychology, and the ability to see what others don't notice. And every casino owner fears one thing: what if the next genius has already walked into my hall?